at Beauty Bar Medi-Spa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. All products and services are on sale at our spring extravaganza, April 4th through the 8th, beautybarmedispa.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I can't think of anyone who doesn't love a clean car, but how often do you actually go to the car wash? Does it take too long, or maybe it's just not a very nice place? Tommy's Express changes everything. Our wash is bright, inviting, clean, and fast.
I love the flat conveyor belt. So easy to pull onto, much smoother ride, and safer for my car.
And when you join Tommy Club, you can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
At the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road, Greenville. In studio with Jeff Stein from Brown & Wood. What's new, Jeff?
For service, we're doing touchless pickup and drop-offs. So when you pull your vehicle in, we greet you at the car and open the door for you, but we're putting plastic on the seats. We're having a steering wheel cover put on. We even have shift knob covers now this year. And then we have the customer actually drop the key in a baggie, and they're the next one to touch that key when it comes out of the baggie when they pick up their vehicle. So just want to make sure we take care of the customers that voted us number one.
Brown & Wood, your number one dealership in Greenville and the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Your first stop for shopping is at Shimmer Boutique. This is Ashley from Shimmer. We are fully stocked with the latest apparel, shoes, and accessories and more. If you need gift ideas or some shopping therapy for yourself, stop by today. Looking for the hottest shoes on the market? Shimmer has the biggest selection of Hey Dudes anywhere. Shimmer has the newest Yeti products and colors. Want this year's most popular bag? Shimmer has a great selection of all your bog bag needs and accessories. Shimmer in Greenville, Winterville, and Jacksonville.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has more American Airlines flights. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza. Homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's now has 2 locations. In Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and the Chocowinity location next to the fire department. Stop in today for hot dogs, pizza, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity featuring homemade cheese, ham and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs, and more. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some. Go Pirates.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into our show. We've got a good one for you today as we talk spring football. East Carolina right in the middle of spring football practice. Offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick joins us. And, Coach, how has the spring gone so far?
Well, you could tell by my voice probably that it's been good.
I thought that was allergies.
Well, maybe a little bit of that. Because normally I have such a really, nice voice.
You do,
and
it's very soothing.
So it's a little hoarse, okay, I guess, but that means we've been getting after it. We've had 8 practices out of the 15, And, this is the best time of the year for a college coach. This is what you love because you're no games to worry about. It's not all the other stuff, which, those have their merit to it. The games are fun, too. But the working with the kids, putting the new team together is probably why we all enjoy coaching.
Yeah, and I hear coaches say that all the time, that, to get out on the grass and just to work individually. And obviously the reason you do all the stuff is for the games, but you kind of get the idea that this is kind of a great relaxing time. You're out there doing the thing that you really like to do without some of the other pressures.
Yeah, I don't know if the players would agree with that or not. I know as a former player, I probably didn't feel that way after about the first week of spring ball, but the coaches, it's very enjoyable because you're doing what you like to do, and you are out there, and once you get inside the gate, all the worries of the world, you don't worry about what the gas price is. You don't worry about what's going on here. You just put all your troubles aside, and you just start. And, when you do good, it's great. It's a great feeling for the kids to get better. When you don't do great, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that timeline of, we're not getting ready to play Cincinnati this Saturday. We got to get that right. You can just say, hey, let's just take it back from the top. Let's run that again. You have a lot more time to watch the tape. You have a lot more time to coach individuals, techniques, and things like that. And so really a fun time.
And you guys were dealing with some really heartbreaking news from this past week. Dave Nickel, who was an offensive coordinator at East Carolina here for a year, he spent 4 years on the staff with Coach Ruff, and really a guy you worked with, day in and day out. And he had moved on and had his, as you described a little while ago before we went on the air, his dream job at Southern Cal with Lincoln Riley. But he passed away from a problem with stomach cancer, and just 45 years old, way too soon. And cancer is such a ugly disease, but that is heartbreaking, isn't it?
It was a tough week with the news, and it happened relatively fast. And Dave was just the best. We called him Super Dave, and we had all kind of nicknames for him. And he was just the happiest. The loved coaching, loved football, loved players, loved everybody. Really, you know what I'm saying? He was everybody's friend. And if anybody ever needed anything, Dave was the guy. He took care of the young coaches because he was a single guy, so he didn't have to go home, to the family. So the young coaches loved him. He paid all the time. He picked the tab up. He's just that guy. And, you're just talking about a punch to the gut. It just is so heartbreaking. Kind of reminds me of the Rock Rogeman deal that
I was thinking the same thing.
We went through here, and Dave just way too soon, and we've lost a great one.
And that's one of the things that I'll never forget. Him going back to Rock, at the bowl game that year when he wasn't supposed to fly, I don't think, but they flew him out there, and he walked on that practice field, and to see tears in those guys' eyes, and that's the love they have for their coach. And I'm sure Dave had many stories like that from his stops, so many stops that he's had.
Very similar guys, very similar personalities. Rock a little louder maybe, but Dave maybe a little more funny a little bit too, like that. But it's been a tough deal. I know Lincoln and those guys are really suffering out there, and we're going to miss Super Dave now.
Dave Nickel passing away way too early, age of 45 this past week, and we certainly have prayers out for his family and everything with that situation, but just heartbreaking from that deal. Let's take a commercial break right now. We'll come back. Donnie Kirkpatrick is live in the studio. We'll check out our Facebook Live feed for any questions or comments that you have on spring football. The spring game about a week and a half away. Back with more with Donnie K. Coach Kirkpatrick after this.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's only true chop house. We're open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Seared combines a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Lunch or dinner at Seared is a quality-driven experience where we highlight a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house, located on Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork. Come see us at Seared for lunch or dinner 7 days a week.
Your vehicle is a big part of your life. That's why you should trust the team at Greenville Auto World for all your vehicle needs. Greenville Auto World believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Visit GreenvilleAutoWorld.net to see their fully stocked inventory of SUVs, trucks, and cars. Need a lift kit, custom rims, or wheels? Greenville Auto World can upgrade your vehicle today. For sales or service, visit Greenville Auto World on Highway 43 in Greenville.
Safety comes first at Greenville Utilities. Did you know that by itself, natural gas is completely odorless? As a safety precaution, a chemical is added to the gas that gives it a distinctive and unpleasant odor. This allows you to detect the slightest amount of natural gas both indoors and outdoors. If you smell a strong odor of natural gas in or near your home, you should immediately call Greenville Utilities. GUC maintains staff around the clock in order to provide immediate response to emergencies such as natural gas leaks. You can count on GUC to keep safety job number one. East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
It's bow time. Ever taste something so good you just get hooked? Like the Bojangler, the only fish sandwich splashed with Bo's famous seasoning. So we're having a fish fry, Bojangle style, spicing up premium fish fillets with the good stuff and slathering them with melty cheese and tangy tartar sauce to hook your taste buds with just one bite. Reel in a Bojangler today, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
At US Cellular, we know you have a choice of wireless carriers. And while the other guys may limit your choice of free phones, at US Cellular, you can choose any phone from any brand for free. Plus, get unlimited data for just $30 a month with 4 lines. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is Coach Gary Overton, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio with us. Coming up later on, we'll update our second chance with the Sweet 16. But we'll tell you this. Coach Mike Houston was one of our guest pickers last week, and he got 3 of the 4 in the Final Four, but he's not in first place.
Uh-oh, somebody really nailed it then.
Yeah, and you won't believe who. We'll tell you that story coming up later on.
Rock, I know that.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he had the Braves and the Red Sox.
Yeah, he didn't know
the
what
Redskins or whoever they are now. I don't know who
had
they
the
are.
Commanders in there.
Yeah, the Commodores.
Yeah. They got a better chance.
I like that. From a true Redskin fan.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. My Cowboys aren't doing anything either. So, All right. So we got some questions and comments from our Facebook live feed, and mostly dealing with the wide receiver position. So let's dive right in. Obviously, you lose a little bit when you talk about the wide receiver position. C.J. Johnson right now on suspension. You hope he comes back. Tyler Snead is gone. What do you do at wide receiver?
Well, I'll tell you what, you roll over and you cry a little bit, and but you don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. But we did. We're kind of rebuilding.
Yeah,
we really are kind of rebuilding there. But it's next man up type mentality. We've got some guys that are having a good spring out there, I think, right now, and we're probably still going to add a few guys here late from the transfer portal. The mighty portal is still alive out there and well.
It's like a Wizard of Oz. You don't know who's behind that portal, do you?
Yeah, that's right. The Wizard's back there, I guess. So anyhow, the problem with that was I think the line was the Wizard said, "No, I'm a good man. I'm just a bad wizard." So you hope that's not the case. But there's been some guys who've stepped it up. We had our first scrimmage this past Saturday, and we were really pleased. We had a good offensive day. I thought the quarterbacks threw the ball really well. Our offensive line's much improved. I think right now probably the best group we've had in the best numbers. Even though we've still got guys out a little bit too, but. We're gonna find some guys in there. Holton's gonna make them. He's gonna make them work. I promise you that. So we're getting a lot of reps out there from these guys. Tajee Hudson's really stepping it up, I think. Josiah Hatfield's always had the ability. He's a big play waiting to happen. We just got to find that consistency with him. We've really had a good spring out of Kerry King, young man that got in a little bit last year, can really run. He's really learned the system. He's gotten tougher, and now he's gained some weight, gotten in the weight room, got a little stronger. So he's showing us some really good things. And then, we're really talented at tight end with Shane Calhoun, and Ryan Jones. So we're going to be a little bit more 12 personnel. They're going to play together a little bit. Ryan Jones has just so many abilities. He can line up everywhere, and he's really a weapon. So that's kind of like having one of those receivers back.
It's kind of like when you have Tyler Snead running around inside in the interior, the linebackers and that kind of thing. And that's where you're going to probably put the tight end, kind of same type thing.
Yeah, well, I think Ryan can line up everywhere.
Yeah.
We started doing that a little bit in the latter part of the season last year when he kind of came on and learned the system a little bit. So he can play outside, he can play inside, he can play as a tight end, he can line up a little bit more like a running back. We ran some jet sweeps with him and stuff like that. And then Tyler Savage is a guy that we've moved into that hybrid tight end position. We think he could be the next Ryan Jones. He's been in there for about a week playing behind those guys, and not as much Saturday in the scrimmage, but in the Thursday practice, he had like 10 or 12 catches in the team, and it was about a 40-play script. So he really started to show that this might be the position that will make him into a really good player.
So when you're looking for someone in the transfer portal, if you've got the eyes open for a wide receiver, take us through the process. Do you have somebody that scours the transfer portal and he comes to you and then you go, hey, I think that guy might work. You go to Coach Houston and you always decide on, okay, let's see what we can do with this player?
Yeah, we have a recruiting department.
Right.
And they one of the guys' jobs is every morning when he comes in, he checks the portal, they make a printout of it, we get the printout, we look at it. You're kind of looking, though, for some kind of a connection, somewhere you know a coach on that staff.
Right.
You might know this guy. Maybe he was a guy you had recruited, earlier out of high school, and now he's going to be a transfer type deal. So it's like that. Obviously, you're looking for somebody that fits your needs, and if it's someone that interests us, then you have the ability to get the film on everything now.
Right.
And so we can watch high school tape. We can watch the tape where they're at, where their school. We can watch their practice tape, pretty much. And then if they're in the portal and they've signed off, you start to contact them, and then you start working to get them to come down for a visit. We've had 2, I think, at this point right now. No, 3. We've had 3 come visit, and we're expecting to get some commitments out of some of those guys here pretty soon.
So and then when you get that commitment, obviously one of the variables is how much eligibility they have left. But the other thing is so many times in transfers before the portal, it's almost like you think guys are going to come and help right away, but rarely are they able to do that. But some of these guys have to help right away, or there's no sense in coming.
Yeah, it's usually because you have an immediate need. You can't just totally count on it, like that. But you're going to have a need that you need them to play pretty quick, and so we've already had one guy come from Georgia already. Jalen has, and unfortunately Jalen pulled a hamstring, so he practiced 1 week and he's missed the whole second week. We're hoping to get him back next week, so it's thrown him just a little bit behind. But the portal, you are looking for instant help, though. It doesn't always come that way. Ryan Jones took us a while to get it going a little bit.
And his was different, though. He had some issues to try to get all of his credits in line and able to be eligible, right?
Yeah, he didn't actually get to come the first time we got the commitment from him because of a class, and he had to go up and finish that, so he had to sit out. And so eventually we got him, and then got through the spring practice. And by this year, the first year he's really on the team, he did play a lot, and he was a major factor, I thought, by the second part of the year. The other young man I would mention is Macy O'Donnell, East Carteret High School. He's been there. He's been an awesome young man. Got put on scholarship last year just because of all the things that he brought to the team. And obviously people playing behind Tyler Snead didn't get a lot of reps,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But he was off to a great spring, and he's aggravated a little bit of hamstring too. And when you're in the spring practice, you're not going to push those guys. You're not going to accelerate those. You don't want to just get a long injury out of something like that. Whereas during the season, you might have to push him to get back a little bit. So we've been very careful with him, and but we do think that it's time for him to step it up, and I think he's ready to help us too. So we're looking for some help there.
Pro Day is set for tomorrow. Tyler Snead will be a part of that. What are you looking for as far as that goes?
Well, I think we have 23 out of the 32 teams have already committed to come, and I think the phones are still ringing through today. We're going to have a great turnout, I think, of those people like that. And, we've got a lot of seniors that are going through it. Tyler Snead, obviously, is one of the highlights, I think, that they're all coming to see. J-Mac, obviously, I think every team's pretty much interested in coming to see him. You're an All-American DB. You lead the nation in interceptions. I think you're going to probably draw some interest right there. We've got some other kids, too, that they're going to be there. And Holton will throw for them, so they'll be comfortable. Audie, obviously, is back. He's going to go through the pro day as well, too. And Tyler and Audie, those guys, some of them have been here the whole time. Tyler's been off training. Audie's been back in Texas training. They've been back for about a week, and they look great. And so I hope they'll have a good day tomorrow because we're sure pulling for them.
Yeah, that'd be great. And you get a chance. And in those situations, all those guys tomorrow won't be drafted. But the idea is if you're not drafted, that you're able to sign with a free agent and get a shot somewhere.
I think it's a lot of that. It's the exposure, going through it and seeing, like you say, there's only 7 rounds of draft now in the NFL. So, if you don't get it probably in the first 3-4 rounds, the free agent deal's not a bad deal. It might be better because you get to kind of pick where they need you, maybe where they want you a little bit more. Blake Pro obviously last year came out, did not get drafted, but had many teams calling right away, and he was able to pick the team that he wanted to go to, the one he thought he had the best connection to, which was Minnesota, and he was doing great. He was going to make the team. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but being a free agent probably helped him over being a late draft pick to a team maybe that he didn't have as good a connection with.
And you mentioned Blake. He's got a song out. Have you seen that?
Well, he may be in transition. He may be in the portal to the music world there. I don't know a little bit, but he's pretty talented, which is another amazing thing that I had no idea. I don't think hardly anybody else on the staff knew that he had this second talent. And some of the players knew and said that he practiced all the time and did that, and so I don't know. I was kind of shocked the first time I saw it, but it's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I thought it was very good, very good. And it's available on YouTube. I think you can see the entire thing. So check out Blake Pro, both as a wide receiver and as a singer.
Yeah, so you got to have a backup plan in this business.
2 great careers that he can make lots of money on, for sure. Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio with us. We'll take a commercial break. We're still taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live feed. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. The Final Four is set, and North Carolina and Duke will battle Saturday night in New Orleans. Tar Heels dominated St. Peter's 69-49 yesterday. Tar Heel big man Armando Bacot had 20 points and 22 rebounds for Carolina. Kansas is also headed to the Final Four to play Villanova. The Jayhawks dominated Miami in the second half yesterday and went on for a 76-50 victory. Bill Self's ball club is 32-6. The Pirates lost on the diamond yesterday to VCU 5-2 at Clark LeClaire Stadium. ECU did win the series 2-1. Cliff Godwin's Pirates are now 14-11. ECU hosts North Carolina State tomorrow night at 6:30. State is 15-8 and is coming off a 3-game sweep over number 12 Georgia Tech. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelds and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're gonna love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Holt Nailers for my friends at Arc Point Labs. Just as I trust my teammates, you can trust Arc Point Labs to give you quick and accurate results for all your laboratory testing needs. If you are in need of COVID testing for your return to school, work, or for travel, Arc Point Labs is offering same-day PCR and antigen testing with little to no wait time. Please visit any of the 6 Eastern North Carolina Arc Point Labs locations or make an appointment now at onehourcovidresults.com. Go Pirates!
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Hey, Pirate fans, Derek Pizzeni from Carolina Wealth Management. Are you a fiduciary? That's a question every investor should ask their advisor. A fiduciary is an individual who acts in the best interest of a particular person or beneficiary. Is your advisor a fiduciary? You should know it's your money. At Carolina Wealth Management, we do things differently from other investment firms. To learn more about the benefits of working with a fiduciary advisor, visit mycarolinawealth.com. That's mycarolinawealth.com.
This is Tim Doust, ECU Football Special Teams Coordinator, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. This is The Brian Bailey Show, taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live feed for Pirate Radio. And someone writes in and wants to know how Coach Boyette is doing on the staff.
Oh, Raekwon's doing great. It's good to have a Eastern North Carolina guy back in the system here, from Wilson, North Carolina. And he's been great. Brings a bunch of energy, big smile on his face, loves the kids as well. I think our players are responding really well to him.
Yeah, I tell you, it makes a difference. And as we were talking earlier about the Dave Nichols situation and why it's so heartbreaking is because when you are a coach and you have a staff, that staff is not just guys that work for you. That staff is your family.
Yeah, it really is. We say all the time, you better have a good group that can get along and work together because you're in that room, you're in that building a lot together. Yeah. And back in that staff room, there's no windows back there in the office. So we're stuck in there. You better like each other a little bit, or you better be able to work it out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be, like brother on brother, there's going to be some arguments. There's going to be some times, it gets a little heated, like that. But as long as when you walk out of there, everybody's got it going in the right direction. So we got a great group right now. Coach has done a great job of keeping the staff intact for the most part. You're always going to have changes in this business a little bit, and there's some growing pains with that a little bit. But he's done a good job of getting a group together. The great coaches, I think, that really get along.
See, if you guys get into it with Shank, you can do a Will Smith on him and pop him. He can't catch you.
Well, I just heard about that about an hour ago. And
that was hilarious.
I guess I'm oblivious to what's going on out there in the world like that, too. But, Shank still got a little fight in him.
He's got a lot of fight in him.
He ain't kicking too high, but he's still kicking.
He cracked me up last year when things weren't going so well on offense, and he was like, "Yeah, Donnie needs to get all those questions because he makes all the big money."
Yeah. Thank you, Shank. Appreciate it, buddy.
Shank was going to throw you under the bus. All right, got another question and comment coming. How about the quarterbacks? How are the other quarterbacks looking this? We'll talk about Holton too, but how about the other quarterbacks?
Mason is off to a great start this spring. He had a really big time day Saturday. I thought by far the best scrimmage that he's had, and he's had just some outstanding practices. Obviously, we've known and everybody's known that he possesses a great physical ability, and it just takes a while sometimes for you to work into a system. And it's good to come in when you have a veteran quarterback and a quarterback that really understands the game and is extremely hard worker and does everything the right way. It's a great role model. At the same time, sometimes it can hold you back a little bit because you don't get the chance to get thrown out there and learn by doing. You have to learn by watching a little bit more than you'd like to do, but he's handled it well, and he's grown another inch.
Goodness.
He's rocked up a little bit more. He's one of the strongest guys right now we got on our team, I think, in the weight room, so he's working his tail off. He looks great. He's throwing it really, really good, and he's really starting to put the mental part of it together.
If you're Mason Garcia, and obviously this is something that had to come up, but you have to be thinking like, do I stay or do I go? And and that's got to be part of his thought process. And you hope he stays because he's going to get a shot, but that's got to be difficult.
Well, I know a lot of people get in these kids' ears, and they tell them what they think they need to be thinking or what they need to be doing. And there were some people, I think, that did that with him. But that's why you form that relationship in recruiting. We got here, I don't know, what is it now, 3.5 years ago, whatever, 3 years ago, I don't even know, December, I remember. And I know that got in here like 7 o'clock that night. The next day, we were starting to recruit Mason Garcia. It was the first trip I made, after that first week to go see him, and many phone calls, many text messages, many trips down there for me and some other guys on the staff as well. And so I think Mason knows this is the decision that he made. This was the right decision. This is the place for him. He loves it here. He loves going to school here. He loves his teammates. And so, yeah, he's had to be a little bit more patient, but, there's been a couple of guys like the guy at Georgia, the guy at Alabama, that's worked out for,
Yep.
So sometimes getting thrown out there and, before maybe you're even ready, it's not always the best thing. I think you see that happening in the NFL all the time now. They're accelerating these quarterbacks. They throw them out there, and sometimes it kind of ruins their career a little bit, whereas in the older days, you brought those quarterbacks along a little slower, and I think they had better careers maybe because of that. So every situation's different, but right now, he's a great team player. He loves the team, and he's getting better. He's getting better and better, and you're always one snap away from being the guy to go out there anyhow. So it's hard sometimes to keep telling yourself that. I got to prepare like I'm going to play. I got to prepare like a starter. Because if you don't prepare like a starter, you will never be a starter. If you prepare like a backup, you'll always be a backup. And we tell them that all the time. And right now, he is definitely working and preparing as if he is going to be the starter.
There was a special needs little get-together the college does for special needs kids in the area. Bella was there, and Mason was one of the guests. And she came home raving about it, how nice he was, and got a picture taken with him. And I thought that was really cool.
Well, he is a special ed major. And, obviously my wife's in that field a little bit there as a speech pathologist and all that stuff, so she's gotten really close to him as well. In fact, today she was actually working on setting up some things where he can go observe some of the special ed teachers, and so we've told them all, whenever his football career's over, and I hope that's not anytime soon, somebody's going to want to hire this guy because he's going to do some great things, and that's just that's who he is. He is just a baby doll.
And the thing has always been, the talk has always been that he has trouble reading defenses. Is that fair?
I don't think that's fair at all. I don't know that it's necessarily reading the defense. It's just a lot of things from high school football to college football that are different that you have to be able to do. And truthfully, if Holton wasn't here, he would have already had to do it by trial and error. He'd have made his mistakes, which they all do, but he's capable of playing. When he's played pretty well. He just hasn't gotten to play enough. But again, he still has 4 years. So, I know everybody, especially young people, everybody's in such a hurry. The world of instant everything now, you know what I'm saying?
Instagram,
Twitter. You just want to do everything so fast. You want to live your life so fast. I tell him all the time, when you guys get to be my age, you'll say, well, I wish I'd have slowed this thing down and just enjoyed it a little bit more and just take it time to time, because it's not all about getting older. But that's just the world we live in today. But he's doing great.
So he's got 4 years. So he'll have 3 years after Holton's gone.
Yeah. So, I mean
what else would you want, really?
If you went and you told any recruit in the country that you have an opportunity to play Division I football at a school like East Carolina, and you be the guy for 3 years, you'd be crazy not to say that's the place I need to go.
Yeah, exactly. What's behind Mason in the quarterback room?
Well, Ryan Stubblefield is also coming along, and I think Stubby's doing a great job. Everybody thinks he's short, or he's small, whatever, but he's got a cannon for an arm. He's really, really worked hard to trim his body down a little bit more and make it a little bit more athletic, and he's having a nice spring, and then Alex Flynn kind of rounds the group out for us.
Yeah, I was getting into this. Is funny. The bag of footballs, and I used one of the footballs to do like a creative shot for the newscast. So I was in the football, and it said QB3, and Ryan was he was coming up, and I said, I said, this may be your football. He goes, no, man, I don't even get a football.
Well, they've all got good sense of humor, so they all think they're the funny guy.
I don't even get a football. I'm not that high up in the room. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you get a chance. But,
everybody gets a football.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. And I had QB number 3 on that football, so I'm sure it was on there somewhere. But when you think about the quarterback room, that's another thing with the transfer portal. All quarterback rooms are kind of in flux because there's only one guy that can go out there and start a quarterback.
They are, and then like you say, because you got to have that next guy ready, because obviously in this sport, the guy with the ball, there's some angry people trying to hurt him, and it does happen sometimes. So you've got to have that backup. And then you're right with the portal, which really, what is the portal? The portal has just taken away you have to go sit out. So now you're really getting penalized if you leave one school to go to the other. You can transfer and go play right away, and you can save that year of eligibility. So it's become a lot more attractive, and now it's easier to do, and you can put yourself in this thing through the compliance office. So, at one point, people had asked me, why did y'all stack up the quarterback room so much when you knew you had Holton for a couple more years? Once Mason had committed, then we still went and signed Ryan Stubblefield. Well, because life happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people sometimes get homesick or they decide to go take another opportunity. So you just always have got to have a plan for what happens if something goes or somebody leaves, like that too. So you always have this situation. You have too many or you don't have enough. But as the guys that are building the program, it's better to have too many than not enough.
Yeah, I would say, and it's just one of those things. The transfer portal for a coach. I mean, it's almost like, if you get on somebody's butt at practice one day, he can be in the transfer portal by 4:00.
I hear about that. We've been fortunate. I don't think any of that's really happened at our place, and we do get on them. They're coached very aggressively here.
Right.
Anything you're in a Mike Houston system, they're going to be held accountable, and the standard's going to be the standard, and it's not going to be changed for anybody. But I think in the end, our staff does a great job of going to see those guys and making sure that it's not personal. It's always about the team. It's always about what's best for you. It's always about what's best to help the team go win. So we haven't had too many of those situations, but that is a live situation. You're right. These kids are transferring high schools now. They're jumping high schools three times already. I'm saying they're switching little league teams all the time. So I don't know if we're setting some very good things that way, but it is what it is. So we live with it and we move on.
And in recruiting, how is the NIL deals? Has that affected recruiting at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing last year, when it got in effect so late that it really didn't cause much of a stir. It just kind of happened and it kind of eased into it. The season started, school started. The kids didn't have time to go work on it, which was one of our worries. Was they would spend all their time chasing dollars instead of going to school and playing ball. Now it's in full effect. Now we don't have any recruits come and visit, and when they go in for their meetings, with the head coach or the position coaches or anybody else, that it doesn't come up about, well, now what is the real situation? Used to be, here's the scholarship, here's how it works. Then we added the cost of attendance to it. You've got the Pell Grant situations for some people. Now that's one of the first questions is, all right, tell me about your NIL situation here and what are the capabilities that we have of what can we make, what can be done here. So we got a lot of people that handle that. The coaches don't directly get involved in that. I'm not out peddling, players, not out raising money for that or getting those type of sponsorships. But we do have people on campus, and our business school has worked very closely with our compliance office, and we're making some headways with that kind of situation because you're going to have to be able to do it to compete for the top talent.
Yeah, it's really strange because you're not allowed, obviously, to say, hey, if you come here, I'll give you a check for $10,000. But there are situations, now you can get around that. And it's basically, it's, I don't know. I think they opened up a can of worms with the whole thing. But you can't sit around and say, okay, we're not going to participate, because if you don't participate, you're out.
That's exactly
you
right.
Get anybody.
You can be for it or you can be against it. But it's here and it's going on. Now, it's too early to tell what the outcome of all this is. There's still a lot of things going on, I think, with the NCAA. There's still going to be a lot more changes here, I think, over the next 3-4 years. But I think eventually it will kind of all iron itself out, and we'll kind of get some continuity.
Yeah, it's just that's another fascinating aspect of the whole, trying to recruit a kid and trying to get, used to be you had to get mom on board. Now you got to get mom on board too and tell her what you can get for her.
You got to get their agent involved in it now.
Exactly right. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator, joining us. Let's take another commercial break. Back with more on our show on this Monday after this.
Hey, Pirate Nation. This is Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty. I've been in Greenville over 25 years. I'm a proud graduate of ECU. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, then give me a call today and let me help make your real estate process fun and easy. I keep it simple and explain the process every step of the way. My goals are your goals. There are no long-term contracts, and you always deal with me from start to finish. The right home starts with the right agent. Call me, Scott Harris, at 347-1857. Go Pirates.
From our floor to your door, Bostic Sugg Furniture has what you need in stock, so you can get your furniture now, not later. Save store-wide, plus get special financing on our huge selection of beautiful furniture from Lazy Boy, Bassett & Rowe. Better sleep starts now on the Arctic Mattress by Serta on a power motion base with 48-month special financing and no money down, plus our exclusive 10-year power base warranty. From our floor to your door, create something beautiful at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best. Everybody loves burgers.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
When I need jeans, I order online because I know exactly what I want. They have just one moving part, and if there's something wrong, I exchange them. Buying a vehicle, especially pre-owned, is way different. Lots of moving parts. You don't want to get stuck. For a worry-free purchase, visit Phelps Chevrolet. We've been here in town a very long time. You know us. You know we stand behind everything we sell. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Come get you one.
We have some exciting news at Angel Oak Home Loans. This is Talbot Green, and I would like to introduce you to the newest member of our team, Braxton Green. I've known Braxton his entire life because he's my nephew. He is also a recent ECU graduate and has lived in Eastern North Carolina his entire life.
This is Braxton Green, and I'm looking forward to working with you with your next home loan or refinance. Give us a call at Angel Oak Home Loans today at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Pirate Radio.
Go Pirates! Go Pirates! Arr! Yeah.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina, live in the studio, taking your questions, your comments. Someone just wrote in and wanted to know about Walter Simmons. What's his situation?
Well, that's a good question there. That's somebody being very observant there. Walter is a tremendous athlete, obviously. We know that, and he's stacked back in that quarterback room that's pretty deep right now. And so Walter is we're exploring with him a little bit, putting him at some different positions, still playing him at quarterback, but we're putting him in the slot. We're doing some things with him as an outside receiver, just trying to find a way to get him on the field. He's working in some special teams, as are some of the other quarterbacks. Some of them participate as holders. Some of them are actually on the punt team. There's some different things, with fakes and stuff like that you can do with those guys. So everybody has to earn their keep a little bit, and, Walter's, he's ready to get on the field, so he's just exploring. So I wouldn't say that we've moved him to a different position, but we are moving him around and trying to get him on the field.
And you had a son that was such a good pitcher for East Carolina, but he came through the ranks and understands the fact that you have to know your role with Cliff Godwin. You have a role that you do in baseball, and football is kind of the same way. If you can find roles for everybody, it kind of helps out the situation.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Coach Mentor, I guess, getting out there and being a pitch runner a little bit.
He's flying around those bases.
You know what I'm saying? I know Davis played some second base there a little bbit, and he never got a chance to hit. He's still a little upset about that. You know what I'm saying? He's still been promised that. I think he thought the contract got broke on that one a little bit. But, you're a starting pitcher, then you're in the bullpen. As I always taught him, I said, you just want to be on the field. You want to be helping your team, and then you'll be happy in the end, no matter what. I tell the quarterbacks all the time, hey, y'all are just football players too. You're still just playing the game of football. So sometimes you run with it. Sometimes we threw a pass to Holton last year. You know what I'm saying? So sneak through passes. You know what I'm saying? So if they've got a talent that can help you win, our job as coaches is to try to use that.
You brought that up a little bit, but the Marshall game last year. And I said it at the time, and I didn't mean to be dramatic because I don't think it was dramatic. I think everybody kind of understood it. It kind of saved the season.
I think that's fair. During the season, if you'd asked me, and maybe you did, I don't even remember, I would have probably said, nah, because you're just focused on
the next game,
and you don't want to make anything any bigger than it really needs to be. After the season, we go back, we analyze, we study, we do everything we can do to try to figure out, what are we doing good, what are we not doing good, how can we get better, whatever. Then at the end, you look back and you go, wow, that was pretty big, that Marshall game was. You know what I'm saying? Because we had not played very well, especially offensively, I thought, the first two games. And then we had a breakthrough game right there, and then we had a breakthrough win to save it too. And so, you get back to the end of the season, you go, wow, that Marshall game was pretty big. That seventh win right there, you don't get that seventh win. I'm not sure you get maybe another win in there if you don't get that ship turned around and find a way and get the confidence back for the kids to be able to win. So pays off down the road. We had a close win against Memphis, stuff like that. You just gain from those experiences. So, big game.
Yeah, it was huge. And just being there and just, walking the sideline and thinking about the fact that, down 17, got to make something happen. Something did happen. You think, okay, now you get the onside kick. Oh, all of a sudden, and, I'm sure you've been on the other end of these things too. It's like, uh-oh. Yeah. How do we stem the tide? But that tide was rolling that day.
Yeah, momentum's an amazing thing. And when old Mo gets behind you, it's a great feeling. You're in the zone now. When that momentum switches and it's the other way, you're trying to find that break. What I'm saying, how are we going to get this thing turned back around? And that one was a good one. Yeah, the score 17 in the fourth quarter gives you some confidence, and it paid off down the road. Like I say, we would have never got to the seventh win, obviously, if we wouldn't have gotten that win.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and just really it got everything jump started. And before we went on the air, we were talking about the schedule coming up and 4 home games to start the year, and you kind of said we've got to figure out a way to get off to a better start. And you got NC State coming to town for that first game. They're going to have one of the best teams they've had in a long time. It's going to be electric. The atmosphere is just going to be amazing. The build up for that game, and I know Duke Carolina's big coming up this weekend in the Final Four.
Who's that?
Exactly, but State and East Carolina in football, you can't compare the two, I guess. But for this area, that's just going to be tremendous because it's going to, how it is with the opening game. All we talk about, once spring football is over, all we'll start talking about is that opening game. And by the time we get to August, and it's going to be on everybody's mind, everybody's going to be talking about it. As soon as the kickoff time's announced, we'll know that, and it's just going to be electric. It's going to be something.
It is, and then as a coach, sometimes you go like, man, who's making that schedule? Why are we starting like this? Because we've really had some tough openers to the first 3 years. But on the positive side of that, I do think it helps your players to get a little more focused, and I think it gets them a little more ready through the summer workouts when hey, we're playing North Carolina State the first game. You know what I'm saying? So that gets their attention, and through preseason. I think even in the spring it's made it. We went into the stadium the last 2 Saturdays. The previous Saturday was more of a practice, kind of a scripted out deal a little bit. This time it was more of a live, play it like a game. You could feel the energy, you could feel the juice. Coach mentioned something about, we're going to be in here a couple of times, and the next time is going to be when this thing's going to be full and it's going to be rocking and we're going to be ready to play the pack. So I think playing a team like that does get you a little bit more ready. But, yeah, we analyzed, as I just said, what do we need to do better? We need to score more touchdowns, obviously. We need to score more points. Okay, those are the obvious things like that. How are you going to do that? But I think one thing, not just offense, defense, special teams, as an entire team we've talked about as a coaching staff, is we've got to find a way to play better early, I think, in the season. Now, again, we've had some good opening games. Appalachian State was in a very veteran, experienced team.
Yeah.
That was a tough draw there a little bit, you know what I'm saying? The COVID, they had 16 guys that came back that wouldn't have been there. But it is what it is. You still got to play better. We didn't play good enough. We didn't play good enough the year before that. We didn't play very good against South Carolina on offense, obviously. Now, they're pretty good on defense. I'm not going to not give them any credit.
Right.
That Coach Beamer's done a good job with that, and they got some good players down there. I've coached there before. I know what kind of talent you can get there. But we are really studying how can we get off to a better start. We got to play better. We're analyzing what we do in the summer. We're analyzing what we do in preseason camp. Do we need to be fresher? What do we need to do. And I don't know that we've got the answer yet, but that is one of the big things we're working on, and we know we got to play good because they're going to be a really good team.
And that's got to be one of the real issues, is trying to figure those things out, because you said, do we want to be fresher? Well, did we not work enough on certain things to be fresher? Or it's a catch-22.
Yeah, if you get a veteran team, and that's what you're trying to build for, and you hope by year 3, and then, and we were more, and by year 4, we're going to have some more continuity there. We are going to be a little younger at receiver. That's why we're, investing in the portal a little bit, trying to do that, because our offensive line is going to be much more experienced. The quarterbacks are going to be experienced. The running backs are going to be very experienced. Defensively, they know the scheme now. They're going to be very much more experienced than we have been. So hopefully we'll be ready for the first game. And if you do have veteran guys, then you can try to find a way to maybe be a little more fresh for the first game. The temperatures are ungodly here, through the August, and usually the first game.
Let's hope it's not a noon kickoff.
And it will be. It will be. I mean, how that's going to be. And, there'll be people passing out in the concourse up there. But it's so hot when you play those first ball games like that. So we'll pray for a night game. We'll hope to get a night game, but, we're not counting on it. But we got to be fresh, but we got to be ready. We've got to have a chance to cover everything. So this spring, we're really accelerating it. We're first scrimmage, we were practicing every situation right now, but we're able to do that mainly on offense because the quarterbacks are ready to go, and defensively, I think Coach Harrell's got them ready to go too.
Running backs, we haven't talked about a whole lot, but you've got two good ones, and I think, we talk about the transfer portal. It's hard to keep two good ones in your program, I would say.
Yeah, I suppose, but I've always loved having two backs. I was a running back coach when I first started out coaching back at Appalachian State, and I always tried to have two, and was lucky enough to do that. At Eastern Michigan, I coached the running backs one year and had two really good ones. At James Madison, we had great success when we had two running backs, so it was a kind of a two-headed monster. So I've always loved being able to do that, and we got the perfect two. They complement each other so well. They're best friends. They're each other's biggest guy to pull for each other. So there's plenty of touches for them. I think it helps keep them healthy, keeps them fresh a little bit. Now, Saturday's scrimmage, Keaton got 7 touches and Rajay got 5, which is about all they needed right now. Our big emphasis this spring is we're trying to find who's that third back, because you're always one now from being down again, and what do they take a pounding, and they give a pounding, you know what I'm saying? So there's
Rajay will give you a pounding now.
A lot of contact with that. You get the ball, you draw some attention a little bit, and neither one of them dodge away from contact. So we're really trying to find that third one right now. So Pop McKay's getting the first shot at it. My man, we found Nemo, but he pulled a hamstring, so now we got to get him back out there. But we haven't gotten that solved yet, but we got two outstanding ones.
Yeah, Keaton Mitchell, I tell you what, man, when he turns that corner, and the first time I really got a glimpse of it was in Charlotte against App State. When he turned that corner, I mean, it was like a blur. He was running down the sideline so fast. I mean, he can fly.
The only time I've ever experienced or seen anything like it was with Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
Chris had a few of those that last year when it really started to click for him, and we used to enjoy watching that. And Keaton surely did give us some of those last year. So, Rajay didn't have as many of the long runs last year. He's trimmed up a little bit.
He has trimmed up. I saw that.
He's a little quicker right now, but he hasn't lost any of his power, and he's a man on a mission right now. So really, really going to use those two backs again.
Yeah, and Coach was very complimentary after the scrimmage on Saturday about both those guys, and I think
they're hard to tackle. I know that they're hard to tackle. We were pretty good on offense when they were in there. Like I say, we pulled them pretty quickly. Like I say, one got 7, one got 5 touches, and then we pulled them, and we pulled Holton as well. Holton had let us down on 2 scoring drives, and then we went with Mason and let him get the rest of the work like that too. But those two, when they're in there, you're a lot better than when we're not.
1,949 yards on the ground last year, and that's a good number.
It's a good number. I thought we could have run the ball a little better, though. I was, as we went through the off season, I thought there were still some things we could do better in the run game. We'd like to be a little bit more effective. Some of that was short yardage. I think maybe some of that was the third down running game. We'd like to do a little bit better. So, it's not because of the two backs, not necessarily because of any one thing or the O-line or something like that too, but there are still some things that we think we can improve. So we're setting our goals a little higher than that for this next season.
Pirates were 9th in the nation last year in fourth down percentage.
Fourth down was good to us. That's been a thing that's been coming that between me and Coach Houston. He's a defensive guy. He's a throwback guy. He's a play it by the book a little bit, and he's had a lot of great teams. He's a lot of teams that win, and they play good on defense. They're good on special teams. They run the ball, stuff like that. But as the times have gone on, the analytics have started to really show that, use the fourth down sequence a little bit more. And our third down percentage is not anywhere near what I want it to be, but our fourth down's really good. Now, I do think going for it and knowing you're going for it is probably affecting the third down a little bit, in that you have two downs, so maybe you don't go for the first down quite as much. You're trying to get it to fourth, and we'll go for it here. That's something we're studying here in the off season, how to still be good on fourth down, but definitely not put ourselves in that where we have to go for it as much on fourth down.
Is that part of the process on the headphones? If it's 3rd and 6, and you're saying, Mike, we're gonna go for it on fourth down here, so we're gonna run X, Y, Z.
Well, first of all, I'm not saying what we're going for.
You're saying, Mike, it's okay with you.
I'm suggesting that I would like to go for it here on fourth down, and then he is telling me I'm good with that.
I got you. I'm right there with you.
We literally invest a lot in this book, this magic book. Okay,
I want to see that magic book.
Well, now you got to have a lot of money to get into that. You got to have the code, whatever. It's kind of like the knock. You got to have the right code to get somebody to open the door. But we have a guy, Ryan McManus was that guy for us last year, and Ryan McManus would tell me when we get to the second down play what the analytics are saying, and he would, for example, say 4th and 3's a go, letting me know that, okay, if it gets to 4th and 3, they're saying the percentages are higher if you go for it to win the game based on time of the game, the score of the game, field position, and how you match up with this opponent. And so then Coach hears that as well, and then he'll kind of give the okay and whatever. And so sometimes on third down, you don't maybe call the play you would call if you only had one down. No, hey, I got two downs here. Right. Or you teach the quarterback, more importantly, don't force that throw, take the check down. Maybe the check down makes the first down anyhow, but if not, you check it down, we're going for it on the next down. With the quarterbacks, they like knowing that. That helps them to make the better decisions. So the other thing I think is, once your team kind of gets in the mindset of, hey, we got 4 downs here, it gives them a little bit of a shot of confidence a little bit. It's not like, oh, this is 4th down. We pressure up. It's kind of like, we do this. Yes. Yeah, we got 4 downs.
No big deal.
Right. So just stay on it. We got 2 more downs. We got 1 more down here. I thought it gave us a shot of confidence. I thought it helped us win some games going for it on 4th down.
Fascinating conversation with Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator. We'll take our final break here on the Brian Bailey Show, and then we'll wrap things up with Coach K after this.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak or the seafood delight pasta. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House can feed your larger crowds with off-site catering and room for 125 in our adjacent banquet hall. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Here is your ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar, sir. Oh, thanks. Wanna watch the game? Ooh, little sports ball on a Sunday afternoon. Don't mind if I do. Hey, did we win? It sounds like we won. It's still the first quarter. I must be lucky. People say that about me. Tough break on that free throw there. Shouldn't be doing that. Dude, we're watching football. Come on.
For everyone who spent the entire game explaining the entire game, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Crust is the most important part of stuffed crust. It's half the name. Papa John's crust is made from 6 simple ingredients. 7 if you count all this cheese. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza is only $13 and is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
In studio with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness. What's new, Dr. Jones?
Yes, we just added 6,000 more square feet of gym space where we're now able to offer our athletic movement programs. They're age-specific programs that help you develop speed, power, agility, and strength to give you that athletic edge. So come by and see us at Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness on Arlington Boulevard or check us out online at kptonline.com. That's kptonline.com.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations. From the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
What's up? This is Bryson Worrell, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday as we wrap things up with Donnie Kirkpatrick, East Carolina offensive coordinator. Earlier in the show, somebody wrote in and just said, can you just kind of evaluate what kind of things you really want to improve on offense as you get ready to go to the 2022 football season?
Yeah, I really can. We're going into spring. We kind of made out a list of things that we thought needed to get done for spring and what we needed to get better at, and third down is a big part of that. And it's not the third and long, though. It's really the third and short. We were not very good at third and short.
And with those 2 running backs, you would think that you've got the tools.
You think. And so we're really analyzing everything from, personnel to what formations we used to what plays we called, all that, okay? So we're doing more practice on third down and 2, 1, and even 3-yard type situations, okay, trying to find our legs there. The other thing we're working on is more red zone work. Though we've always done quite a bit, we're doing even more in that we were very good overall red zone percentage because we had a good field goal kicker and he made a high percentage. But we had some games like Central Florida that if we'd have played and scored touchdowns in the red zone instead of settled for the field goals, we would definitely have won that game.
Right.
The Memphis game comes to mind, though. We won the Memphis game. That should have been a blowout.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we punted one time. They could never stop us, but we got inside the 10 first and goal and did not score the touchdown. So that's been a big part of what we've been studying about our red zone, low red zone offense, about what we call, again, how to get the ball to the right people. We've been visiting with other coaches about it and looking at the tendencies, looking at how defenses were defending us. So that's 2 of the really big things there. Score more points because of the things in the low red zone. We could have averaged a lot more points. We'd have won a couple of more games there, I felt like, and then be better in the third down and short. So those are the 2 of the top things we're working on.
All right, before we get out of here, let's update our second chance with the Sweet 16. Your boss, Mike Houston, got 3 of the final 4 correct, which is very impressive. He had Gonzaga to knock off Villanova for the national championship.
He
so
is not
going to lose
enough
the
football film. He's spending too much time watching TV.
He was one of our guest pickers last week. Ken Wallington was one of our guest pickers. He got 3 of the final 4. He missed on Miami. He's got Duke to beat Villanova, which could happen as far as the national championship goes. But the only guy, and this is funny, this is a senior moment for me now. So I'm jotting all this stuff down and everything, writing people's names down. Near the end, I put Brian, and I looked at it. It says UNC, Duke, Villanova, Kansas. All 4 right.
Wow.
So he's got Duke to beat Kansas in the national championship, which could happen for sure. And I'm thinking, like, who's this Brian guy? So I'm going through the thing. I don't call Meador Brian. I call calling Meador, but for some reason I wrote down Brian. But Brian Meador comes up with all four. He's in first place in our second chance for the Sweet 16. He was one of our guest pickers as well, and he's got the best chance because I really think that Duke will take care of North Carolina this time. I know what happened at Cameron Indoor, but I think that this is Coach K's year perhaps, and he's got Duke to go all the way. So that's his bracket. Who you got winning the whole thing now, Duke?
I would never say the word that university, actually, to be honest with you. So
really?
Yeah, no. I don't know. I'm hoping.
Which of these would you say there?
I'm just going for the Pirates. That's the only one.
Yeah, go
Pirates and the Hornets. I'm going with the Hornets. Going with the Hornets.
There you go. You can do that. All right, as we get ready for the spring football game, this week you got one last scrimmage. Next week, the spring game. Do you know exactly what you guys are going to do for the spring game as far as picking teams and that kind of thing?
Nah, we don't totally know. Some of that you have to wait to kind of see how many you got healthy or who can go. But last year, the players talked Coach into splitting teams up and, having two teams instead of going offense versus defense. Everybody loved that. The energy was great. I think the people that came to watch it obviously enjoyed that too because it's a little more football-like than that other score about the defense gets 3 points if they knock a ball down.
Yeah,
the offense
that's
gets all
hard.
that stuff. Yeah, nobody can figure out who's winning and who's losing and that thing. I know I can't. That's for sure, but that didn't say anything. But so he has not given us what he's going to do there. It'll probably come down to who's healthy, who's not. But, I think it's going to be a big day. I know people are going to be about. That we're going to have a big crowd. I know that, and so that's the important thing is get them out there and come support the kids because they'll be fired up, and it does get you a little more game-like ready. I think
it used to be that the winning team would get steak, the losing team beanie weenies. You really give the losing team beanie weenies?
Yeah, absolutely, and serve the other team. We've done that. I don't know. We have competitions throughout the year all the time, and he was telling the team the other day he's come up with some system to evaluate the scrimmage, which is not anything to do with really normal football, but there's some point of contact, some turnovers. That is a big thing right there, and that we might carry that on throughout all the scrimmages and put it all into one. And somebody's eating bologna. I know. I heard that somebody's eating bologna. And somebody's eating ribeye. And so, I don't know.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
Coach, the hour absolutely flew by. Thanks so much for coming in today. We certainly appreciate your time. Best of luck to that Pirate offense. Looking forward to the 2022 season for sure.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Donnie Kirkpatrick, the East Carolina offensive coordinator, our guest today. And that is our show. We will see you back here next week. Hope we got your sports week off to a great start. And we'll see you back here next Monday on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
Join us next week for another